I'm on Facebook. Good evening to everybody on YouTube. I can see we are live already there. But we're not on we are on Facebook. Here we go. Here we go. Good evening, everybody. Yes, you are right. It's a dream. It almost feels like autumn today. I'm just cleaning my glasses. Yeah, the weather has changed. Well, let's hope it's not permanent. Let's hope it's just a blip and the sunshine comes back soon enough. That's what we need. Bit of sunshine. Although Karen's got plenty of sunshine as she is in Greece, living it up. And I don't blame her. So good evening to everybody on Facebook. I can see you all jumping in now. I'm just doing the obligatory cleaning of the glasses. Although I'm sure I'm making them worse, but we shall see when the card is made. So just while we're waiting for everybody else to get logged in, you can see the little screen I've put up that says focus on. And this is something that I think we're going to do regular. Hi, Hazy Babe. This is something I think we're going to do on a regular basis on a Monday evening. Because yes, we always have fabulous demos, as you know. But when I was prepping for today, I thought, oh, what a cracking idea to focus on something in particular. So to focus on a specific range from products that we've released. And I think that would be good for you as well, because it might show you things that you might not have thought of before. And in fact, I'm doing a card this evening that is... It reminds me of one that I did ages and ages ago. But we are going to use the stamps in a slightly different way as well, which I thought it's good for you because if you've already got some of these stamps at home, it gives you some new ideas. And if you haven't got the stamps, it might make you want to buy them, which is absolutely marvellous. Oh, well done, Caroli. It's all done randomly, so well done. So let's take this off and see what is on my desk. Oops, there we go, because there's quite a bit on my desk. So good evening to everybody I haven't spoken to yet. Thank you for joining me on this dreary Monday evening. And I am making these worse. I think I must have some glue on this. Let me try it with my t-shirt. Let's try that. Hi, Heather. So... No, that's not much better either. Oh, it's a little bit. I've got a clean bit in the centre of each lens, so that'll do. That will do. Yes, so, oh, bless you, Shaz. Why? Oh, bless you, darling. Well, I hope you heal quickly. Yeah, so this is something new that we're going to do regularly on a Monday evening. So clearly when we have a new release, the focus of the Monday evening live will be the new release. Next Monday evening, remember everybody, is not a demo. Next Monday is a face-to-face chat with me. I better make sure I have a shave and do my hair and tidy the bit of craft room behind me so that it looks lovely and tidy. So next Monday is a chat with me. I know, Hope. I'll wear one next Monday evening just for you. Yeah, so next Monday evening is just a chat and a little catch up. So we should only be about half an hour, maybe an hour next Monday evening. And the actual proper demo night with the new Sneaky Peek dies and stamps will be next Tuesday, so just remember that. Anyway, so back to the task in hand for tonight. I think you're going to like this card. Now, when I was prepping this, I don't know whether you've all seen the big background stamps. In fact, I'm going to get you a link straight away because Karen's not here and Saz never bothered to text me tonight. So I'm going to do it until she gets here. So... big background stamps, what am I talking about? So the big background stamps are something that I introduced to our range a couple of years ago, and I've added more and more and more as time has gone on. So these are obviously well loved. These are A5 background stamps. So A5 for everybody who doesn't do A5, A6, blah, blah, blah. It's just under 8 inches tall by 5.5 inches wide. So these are big stamps. And I remember when I first introduced these, talking to you all about them and how they are not just background stamps. And you can use them in lots and lots of different ways. You can see here with the one on the left, all these clocks. This one's called vintage timepieces. Yeah. So, oh, what's that just popped up on my iPad? Somebody trying to Skype me on iPad. So forgive me if I get lost. It's all right, Jenny. I've not done anything yet. So you can see, looking at the vintage timepieces one, that it's actually a cracking background. Yeah, half of an A4. It's just smaller than that, actually, to be honest, because you have to be within the guidelines for the stamps. So these are not just background stamps. These are stamps that you can create embellishments with. You can stamp over your die cuts. You can stamp into clay with them. You can do all sorts with them, and that's hopefully what I'm going to show you tonight. So when I was prepping and I was looking at the stamps, I can't remember how many there are, everybody. Hi, Lona, so do I. I can't remember how many there are, everybody. I think there's about 10 or something, maybe a few more. There might be a few more than 10. Thanks, Rob. Oh, stamps. They are, but you don't have to use them in their entirety, and that's what we're going to be doing this evening. And these are basically, when I first did them, I did them as A5s because generally the size card that we do is 8x8, A5, 7x7, etc., etc. So if you're somebody who likes to do A5 cards, which is A4 folded in half, this is a complete background in one stamp. And obviously anything smaller than that is a background in one stamp. If you like to do 8x8, you literally move it across, or because it's 8 inches tall, so you just have to do side by side. You can see that I'm doing a more masculine style card tonight, and that is by choice because it's my brother's 50th birthday next month, and he is going to get this card. So I know he's not watching because he is in Italy. So I know he's not watching. 10 plus the 2 Christmas ones. Thank you, Emma. So 12 altogether. I know 1 or 2 of them have sold out. I know the vintage script has sold out. It's sold out 3 or 4 times, so I won't get that back. Anyway, so this card is going to be for my brother, so we're going to do a cracking job of this one. And I'm just going to quickly show you what I've got prepped, because this is going to be really useful for you, because it's going to show you a couple of new ideas, which is exactly what I wanted to do. So just so you know, because I know you like to know what colours I'm using. So this is Cool Slate, and this is Cool Grey. So I've got Pure White, Cool Slate, and Cool Grey. And you can see I've got a selection of greys here. So we're not doing 50 shades. They're black. We're not doing 50 shades, but we have got 3 different greys on here. Oh, no, we haven't. We've got 2. We've got 2 different shades of grey, and we've also got black soot. Because we're going to do duo stamping in the background. So Hickory Smoke, Morning Mist, Hickory Smoke Distress Oxide, Morning Mist in the Versifying Clair, and Black Soot in the Distress Oxide. So when I stamp the background piece, which is the largest white area, I'm going to do it with Hickory Smoke and Black Soot, because these will be a little bit softer than using the Versifying Clairs. So the Versifying Clairs, as we know, are... I knew you would be. Versifying Clairs are super juicy, as we know, and they give you really strong impressions, whereas the oxides will give me a softer background. And then the two blacks that I've chosen, or the 2 proper blacks, are the Versifying Clair Nocturne and the Versifying Onyx Black. And I'll tell you about that when we get to that stage. You can see also we are going to be creating some embellishments with our embossing powders. So I've got a selection that I know are going to coordinate with these gorgeous grey tones, yeah? Good evening to everybody who's just joining. So I've got a selection of my embossing powders here. You can see we've got some of the metallics, so the super fine ones with the copper, the gold at the bottom there, the silver on the right side. And I've also got the pure white. And you can see I've got 3 of the twinkling embossing powders in here. So we're not going to do lots and lots of glittery, but we are going to introduce a little bit of sparkle in the embossing. And the turquoise, which completely looks out of whack with the rest of these colours, but the turquoise is going to add just a little pop in certain areas. So there's a lot of work to do tonight, but this card is going to be absolutely fantastic. And it's going to be my brother's birthday cards. And he'll be shocked that he's even getting one. It's because he's 50, which makes me feel dead young because I'm only 47. Hi, Helen. I've got a younger brother who's 50, but I'm only 47. Must have got the Aston Martin. No chance. No chance. What's Karen doing on here again? Is she really, or is it... I'm just reading back. Bear with me. Oh, I love it there, Jennifer. Imbued. I love it there. Several of these and always have a bit of problem using them, so this will be wonderful. Oh, well, hopefully hope it will give you some ideas as well. I'm going to show you the ones that I'm using. Oh, bless you, Karen. She's still on holiday in Turkey, but she can't miss the live. Bless you. Yeah, you're probably right, Joanne. 47 plus interest. My back is almost better, thank you, Helen. About 98%. Stop laughing, Lee. Yes, he is, Pippa. I agree. Oh, hi, Judy. How you doing, darling? Right, so let me just put that to one side. And I'm going to show you the stamps that I'm using. So, I'm using 3 of the big backgrounds tonight, but we're only using 1 as a background, okay? Now, if you haven't got this, this is my all-time favourite, and I told you this last time I was using it. No, I'm not very good at adding up, David. That's why I thought I could afford an Aston Martin. I do have a lovely sister as well. I've got 3 brothers and a sister. You're right, Anne. So let me just show you what stamps I'm using this evening. These are the ones from the big background range, yeah? I'll pop the link back on for everybody who's just joined so you can go and have a look. And I do believe now, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I do believe there is 10% off these for this week, I think. Oh, I can't remember, and Karen's on holiday. Whoever buys the first one, please let me know if you get 10% off when you check out. But I'm sure Karen's set it up so that you'll get 10% off tonight, and I think it expires on Friday. You don't need a code. You will automatically get the 10% off when you check out. But please don't check out yet because there's a lot I'm using. So if you haven't got this one, everybody, this is my all-time favourite. You have to have the vintage ledger in your stash. Everybody needs the vintage ledger. If you only go for one tonight, please let it be the vintage ledger because it's amazing on masculine cards. It's brilliant on Christmas cards, and it's also gorgeous on like shabby chic and vintage style cards. You have to have the vintage ledger. So there you go. I can't get your mojo back. My mind is going on. It's going on to USA. Why, Kerry? Yep. And then the other one I'm using now. This is the vintage stars. You'll notice a theme. They're all vintage. This is the vintage stars, and I'm using the vintage stars. This was one that I designed specifically for Christmas. But I'm using this to fussy cut some of these stars out. So we're going to use this stamp to create the actual embellishments. And then again, this is another one that I use so often. This is also great for men's cards. It's great for vintage cards, and it's great for shabby chic, and it's also great in the background for Christmas cards as well. So this is the vintage timepieces, and again, I'm not using that as a background. I'm using that just so that I can fussy cut some of these. Let me show you. So I can fussy cut some of these gorgeous clocks that are in here. Yeah, I mean that is absolutely packed. You've got the what do you call that? What do you call that? I forgot. But you've got two of them in there. You've got pocket watchers, you've got all sorts in there. So they are the three main stamps that I'm using. Oh, bless you. Bless you. Well, you're going to hate me next Tuesday because I don't think you're going to be able to resist what I show you next Tuesday. It's very much like me as well, Judy, at this time, at this stage. Carol the comedian. Carol the comedian, that's what I'm going to call you now. She's just over on YouTube. Carol the comedian's put, Phill, I saw an Aston Martin you could afford today, and then lots of exclamation marks, and then it was in a toy shop. I did do grey board clocks, Rob. I did, absolutely. Slightly different because you can't get, if I show you the detail in these, look, you can't get this kind of detail in a grey board clock. And if you look at the pocket watch, yeah. So they are the three big backgrounds. I'll show you everything else as we go through and use them. I've got a couple of bits of grey board in here. And I'm going to apologise to you now because I don't think we've got any of this left. So these two bits I've got here are from the 8x8 grey board, which had a blueprint, I called it, I think, blueprint grey board. So I've created a couple of arrows and I've got these little sticky things. I don't even know what you would call that. What can we call that? No, we'll go with sticky things. This is that bit of twine that's been on my desk for about 3 weeks. Egg timer, that'll do. I still want to stamp. I'll make a wonky. Oh, bless you. This is that bit of twine that's been on my desk for about 3 weeks. I am going to use that tonight. He says, and then throws it in the corner. And then, look at this. This colour scheme looks really classy already. So I'm just going to show you what I've got. So these two circles here are from these bits that I've cut here. Now this is a little tip for you all, because we all forget to do this. We do it for matting and layering for our cards and for apertures and things like that. But we never ever think to do an embellishment this way. And this is what I've got here. Yeah. So these are just offcuts, one in cool grey and one in pure white or ice white, whatever it is. And then I've just used my deboss double stitch circles to cut out the aperture. And these are going to be embellishments. So let me just show you. And the reason I've used the deboss double stitched is because you get the stitching on the inside and you get the stitching on the outside. And we're going to stamp over these. I only need one of this, so I'll pop that over there so I don't get tempted. So I've got two little shapy things. I've got the big lock from the Locks and Keys. Hi, Saz. I've got the big lock from the... oh, is it? Thanks, Saz. I've got the big lock or keyhole from the... Oh, I can't even remember what they're called. That's shocking, isn't it? Shocking. So I've got the big lock... Oh, surprise, surprise, it's called Locks and Keys. So this is the big lock from the Locks and Keys, yeah? Cutting the cool slate. I haven't cut any keys, not for tonight. And then I've got a selection of gears, or cogs. I'm not going to use all of these, I'm only going to use a few, but I couldn't decide which size I wanted. Now, I remember warning you all when I used these last, that we'd not got many left. And I know people went and got them. So if we haven't got any of them, forgive me. I'm not going to reorder them. I'm not going to reorder these. So if there are any, you're very, very, very lucky. There are 23 dies in that set. I will do a new cogs set at some point, but not just yet. Not just yet. I've also got these scraps. So remember the card we did on Thursday evening? This is the bit that was left over from the stars texture die. So these were the stars that were left over. I'm using those tonight. Even that little fiddly bit. I'm not rushing this card because I want to do a good job. These are just bits from the inside of the gears. And then I've got a couple of strips of cool grey and doodah. Cool grey and cool slate. And then I've got my matting and layering. So this card is huge. There's no getting away from it. It's very tall and it's wider than a slim. I've called it a slimline because that's what it is to me. But it is a big card. So I'm going to tell you how big it is. So the base of this is 23.5 and the width is 13.5 centimeters. And in inches, that is 9.25 by just under 5.5. So it's big. Saz says there are some cogs. So I would personally recommend you grab them, because if it says there is some in stock, you're very, very lucky. Very, very lucky. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Helen. Yeah, skyscraper. With the leftover string and leftovers. You're right, Kerry. But you know what? He wouldn't even know. So let's get started. So I've got my matting and layering. I'm doing nothing with these. I'm keeping these lovely and clean. They're staying just as they are. So I'm going to pop those to the side out of the way. We're going to start with the background itself. Let me just move some of these bits. So I'm going to stamp the background first and then pop it out of the way, so I'm not tempted to do anything else to it. I am going to do this on an acrylic block. Now, those of you that know me well will know that I tend to do this by hand. So if you haven't got a stamping platform, everybody, I'm just going to show you this as well, because I bet you never noticed. So this is designed in the style of a vintage ledger. So you've got the ring binder holes on this side, but over on this side, look, if I zoom in and turn that round, can you see we've actually got text running up that side as well, vertically, and that's what we're going to use for those little funny shapes. Anyway, hi Janice. I forgot what I was just saying. Oh yeah, so those of you that know me well will know that traditionally, or usually, I usually leave these on the acetate. I usually leave the stamp on the acetate, ink it up, and I stamp by hand. And I do that so that it looks shabby without trying, because inevitably, if we try and do this by hand, you're going to have bits that are missing. I'm not doing that tonight. I'm going to do it on an acrylic block. Now, I don't know whether you all know this, but I do actually have my own A5 acrylic block. Yours won't say Phill Martin on it. They're extra. But they're definitely worth having in your stash, even if you've got a stamping platform, everybody. Hi, Lynn. Oh, I'm dead professional tonight. What's come over me? Hi, Jean. I love the video. I can't tell you how much I love this stamp. And if you look back at some of the cards that I've made, oh, it's quite a while ago now. It's quite a while. But if you look back at some of the cards I made, I used this on a black and gold card, and it looked absolutely incredible. So, top tips, everybody, before I start stamping. It's a big stamp, as I say. You can use it on your stamping platform, so don't worry if you've not got an A5 block. Just remember, the same as with any big stamp, just check that you haven't got any bubbles in when you apply it to your acrylic block. If you have, put it on, peel it back, and then just roll it back on. And if you roll it back on, you're rolling the air bubbles out. Boom, job done. 2021, was it, Judy? Wow. Oh, that makes me feel old. How can I have made a card in 2021? I'd have only been about 19. Now that's very interesting, Emma, because the vintage ledger is the one that I use the most. How strange. Hopefully you'll be inspired to use it more after tonight. And remember, it looks good in the background for Christmas cards because it is just like a ledger. It's just vintage. So I'm stamping this sideways, as I always do. Let's see if there's an up and a down. There is an up and a down. So just remember the perforations are on the left. I'm using hickory smoke and black soot. So the difference between these two colours will be really, really nominal. Yeah. Why are you using a block instead of a platform? So I can press a little bit harder, Helen, that's all. And I've got to be honest with you, I only really use my stamping platform now for I don't know, like sentiments and things. I'm just old school. And also it means I can stamp the top because this is not going to fit, look. This is not going to fit on this piece of card. So it means I can just ink it, stamp it, ink it, stamp it, instead of messing about on the platform. Does that make sense? I know, Rose, I know. You're right, I do. I was, Jackie. I was thinking about Jo earlier. If you see her, ask her to message me. If you see Jo anytime soon, ask her to send me a message. Right, so I'm going on with the hickory smoke first, and I'm rubbing this on. Just remember with distress oxides, sorry Tim, with distress oxides, some of the fibres come away, so just make sure you don't get any, when you're doing it this way anyway, just make sure you don't get any stuck in your stamp. So I'm rubbing this on first before I dab it on, and that is just because this stamp is incredibly detailed, and you'll see it in a minute when I stamp it. So hickory smoke first, rub it before you pat it, and then the black soot I'm just going to do in little areas. So the black soot shouldn't be particularly obvious. It should just be giving us a little bit of a two-tone. So remember my tip for you with doing two colours of ink pad, soften the edges. So just soften the edges where you've got the sharp lines so that it doesn't look like a patchwork quilt when you stamp it. Nobody wants that. There you go. And I'm going to stamp the top now, so make sure I get this the right way around. Hi Elaine. Oh, thanks Jean. So I'm going to try and get this as straight as I possibly can. So forgive me if my head gets under the camera, because as you can see, the light is reflecting badly on my acrylic block. So let's see if I can get this straight. If this is straight, it'll be a miracle. So it's a good job my brother's not a card maker. So here we go. Is old school vintage? Could be. You can't be old school if you were older than 90. Yeah, that's true, Ruth. Oh, shucks, you've got me there. I can't get out of that one. So I'm not lining this up at all. I've just stamped it. I'm not worried about what's gone on. You can see that I've avoided the hole punched side, because I don't want that on. So let's see what we've got. Let's see if I had enough ink on. Oh, look at this stamp. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? This is why you need this in your stash. Look at that detail. How stunning is that stamp? And Emma, the next card I see you post in our Facebook group, I want to see this stamp on it. And look at that. It's straight. So now I've just got to do the bottom part. So I only need to ink up here. Oh, hang on a minute. Just make sure I've got that right. No, I need to ink at the other side. And you probably can't notice as much as me because it's a phone. But what's happened with the black soot is it's just created a darker shade of grey for me. So it's not proper black, it's like a darker shade of grey, and it looks gorgeous. So let's see if some miracle I can line this up. I'm just going to bring it down towards me again. Let's see if I can get this bit straight as well. This will be marvellous if I can. We shall soon see. I told you this stamp is stunning. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I mean, as a designer, that's incredible. As a card maker, it's phenomenal. Right. So I'm not going to clean the stamp. I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to pop this to one side. Now I'm going to leave this to dry. Remember, we've used Distress Oxides. I know, Judy. It's absolutely spot on. You've put a jumper on. Oh no, I'm absolutely roasting. Remember, I've used Distress Oxide, so I'm going to put this to one side and leave it to dry. We are going to dry brush and splat on this with gesso just to give it some more texture, but I need to do that once that's dry. So I'll save this bit of kitchen roll, and we're going to move on to these lovely little embellishments, and this is where we change ink pads. So we're going to move on now to these little bits here. Oops. So these are just going to be tucked in, and this is something that I think we're going to be doing a lot, is using our scraps of card. You know how it is when you all have the same as me. You all when you're doing your matting and layering and that, you all end up with bits of card like this. And this is literally just from me matting and layering this card that I'm making tonight, and just squaring it off and punching a circle and die cutting a circle in the middle. It could have been an oval, it could have been a star, it could be whatever shape you want. But when you're doing men's cards particularly, don't be scared of lots of texture, because I think that's what makes them special. You've got your coat on. I'm absolutely roasting. Yeah, so men's cards, I think texture is the key. Particularly if you were sending a card to somebody like me. I mean, I don't like golf. I'm not interested in football. You know what I mean? So send me something that's got loads and loads of texture on that looks like this. And then you'll get loads what have I missed? I've missed something. Oh, you are funny. Aaron Cardy, right. So I've not cleaned this stamp, remember, and what we're going to do is mist it and stamp onto this. So I'm misting it with water. I'll bring my kitchen. Oh no, I'll get another piece of kitchen roll. Let me just get a piece. Where are you? This is a bit from Thursday night. This is the side that I want, because this is going to be tucked underneath the strips. So it needs to be, I want the thin bit. So I'm taking the ink off here now, and we're going to do a watery version. Just make sure I've got it the right way up. Just bear with me while I make sure I've got it the right way. That's it. So I'm just going to, just a couple of mists, and then I'll just stamp it in the middle. I've got to stand up again, sorry. So let's see if I can get this straight. I can't actually see through the reflection of the... If this is straight, it'll be a miracle, because I can't see through the reflection. So this is now just picking up some of the ink that was left on that stamp with a bit of water. Oh, look. Now, you all know, you've all been crafting long enough to know that years ago, we'd be paying for embellishments like this. You would be buying them in packs of ephemera. Well, now you can make your own ephemera. So look how the grey has faded into that greeny grey because of the water and the black. How gorgeous is that? So that's one. But for the other one, we are going to change stamps. Let me just bear with me a sec. Yeah, I'm going to clean that now. I'm going to just clean that because we're done with the inks. We're done with the grey. Have a cocktail and warm you up. What a cracking idea. So we're done with the grey inks for that part. So I'm just going to clean off as much as I can. You can see how much I've used this. Look at the colour of this stamp. I think it's time for some new big backgrounds. So if anybody has any ideas of a theme, well, I need 3. If you have any ideas of 3 themes for a big background stamp that I've not already covered, send me a private message on the Sentimentally Yours Facebook page. Don't put text or script because I've done that. Something that we've not done already. Right, so I'm just going to... I'll leave that on there actually. I'll leave it on there. Oops. Oh, sugar. 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 Right, now we're going to move to the other stamp. So we are now moving on to the vintage timepieces. And the vintage timepieces are going to be stamped with the VersaFine Clay. I'm just looking for a piece of cleaner kitchen roll. I'm trying to recycle all my old bits of kitchen roll. And I showed you, didn't I, the other day? I've got all this, look. And I'm using it. I'm not going to waste it. So I'm recycling the kitchen roll that we've already used. Right, so that's drying lovely. Oh, what's that? Oh, a feather. Ah, little feather. Steampunk, goth and demonic backgrounds. Oh, a big background for a wedding would be nice, Emma. I tend not to do specific beer. I tend not to do specific because it limits what we can do with it. But a wedding one might be nice with bells and a church and stuff in it. Anyway, don't tell me on here because I won't see it. I've done music, Sandra. Sandra, there is a music one. You mean an embossing folder? I know you do, bless you. I have got embossing folders coming, but there's a lot, so it takes a while for them to do them. I should have told you that. That was supposed to be a secret. Right, so now we're doing the other half of this with the vintage timepieces. And this time I am using the Morning Mist this time. And I know this is going to be that way on my card. So I'm just stamping it. The magic doesn't really matter for this stamp. So here we go. Let's just see which section I want before I do it. Let's have these lovely little ones here. So I'm doing this with the VersaFine Clay because these are really detailed, and I don't want it to get lost with the Distress Oxide. And I am just doing this by hand. Stand up, Phil. And let's try and get some bits on that we like. Let's try that. So already we've used the big backgrounds in 1, 2, 3. That's 3 different ways we've used the big background. So again, look, I say it again. Bags of ephemera that we used to buy. Make your own. Yeah. Oh, buttons. I would never have thought of that. I would never have thought of that. Buttons. Well, you know I'm at the Velcro age. I'm just drying that off for a bit. Right, so we're going to leave the stamping just for a second. Let me just get my bits in order. Just get my bits in order before I start. And we're now going to move on to the grey board and the cogs. So I'll do just a couple, and these are going to be embossed. So the card is going to be greys, as we know, but we are going to introduce gold and copper and a little bit of silver. I'm not doing all these. I don't need that many. Let me just think about my layout. Yeah, that'll do. I'm not doing them all. I've left one. Have I done transport? I can't remember whether I've done transport, but I've done travel, I know that much. Anyway, so we are now going to use the embossing powders, and I'm giving them all a coat of gold first. So I'm using the super fine embossing powders for this, for the base coats anyway, and this is the pure gold. And for those of you that know me, you will know that I always have a Grotti Perfect Medium pad for this. You're right, David. I think you're right. I always have I call it my Grotti Perfect Medium. So you can see, look, it's covered in glittery embossing powder and all sorts. I don't want any glitter in these, so I'm going to use my embossing dab it, whatever you call it, that. So let's just get some flowing. Is it flowing? Oh, that was lucky, Phil. Squeeze that too hard. That was lucky. That could have been a disaster. Hang on, I'm just clean it up. That could have been a disaster. Did you hear it pop open? So remember not to squeeze it too hard. There we go. So this is just embossing liquids, perfect medium in a dabber, basically. I don't know whether we've got any left on the website, because every time I use them we sell out. So if we have, you're lucky. If we haven't, I'm sorry. And I'm just going to do one at a time. This is just so that I don't have to open a new perfect medium. So let's just get this done. Don't send me messages on here with ideas. You need to send me a private message. It's the only way I'll remember. So we are doing a couple of layers on these, so I'll do them one at a time. But they are all having a base coat of gold. I can't see whether it's coming out or not. And I didn't squeeze it again. You saw what happened. So we shall see. I think it's coming out enough. There's going to be 2 or 3 layers on these anyway, so it won't matter too much. So that's 2. Work my way around. Fairgrounds. Emma. Let's do the smaller ones en masse. After I've done the base coat on these, I will move to the perfect medium pad, because it won't matter about little flecks of glitter after I've done the base coat. You can also do this with the Versamark pens if you've got them, but this is just a bit quicker. Doesn't matter if it's patchy, it's just a base coat. But they are all having a gold base coat. Oops. that one's going to be very patchy, but don't matter. It's drying quite quickly in here. So let's get that first coat melted. Remember as well, this works best with the super fine embossing powders, particularly for the base layers, which is what we're doing now, which is why I'm not worried about it not being perfect, because it is just a base layer. I'm just going to do this away from my mouth. Ooh. Bear with me while I do them all. Now, in case you're wondering why I use perfect medium for this and not my Versamark, I always save my Versamarks for stamps, sentiments, and I only really use perfect medium now for this kind of thing. So there are a couple of layers that I've got to go on. That one's a bit bald. And the last one. Okay, so that's the base coats done for them all. Is Phill here embossing or doing his Celestial would be nice too, yeah. What's what called Dawn? Ow, that was my foot. So these have now just all had a base coat, look, and we're going to build on top of that. So you all know me well enough to know that if I was doing a sentiment, I would be heating from underneath so that it's lovely and smooth. We don't actually want that on these. We're going for texture, which is why I've just done it super quick and over the top. So we're now going to go on with copper, not the copper glittery, the copper normal. So this is the copper super fine, and I'm going to move to I'm going to open a new one actually. Let me just get a new one. Perks of having your own shop. Just borrow what you need for demonstration purposes. Hi, Sue. Yeah, I always use perfect medium, Jackie, for this kind of thing. Well, you can see how old this is, look. Look at the colour of the packet. I always use perfect medium for this kind of thing, rather than my Versamarks. So now we're going over this with copper, and I'm not going to worry too much about it being perfect, because this is all about the layers, although this is very, very juicy. This is very juicy, so it's probably going to be better than the gold. It's a brand new one, that's why. But it does need that gold undercoat, so don't try and skip it. So building up the layers. I've just took a chunk out of that. I just, no reason, Sue. I just like to save my, hi Julia, I just like to save my Versamarks for my sentiments and my perfect medium for my medium kind of jobs. It's just so that I know I'll never use my Versamark for this. It will always be a perfect medium. So I'm going to put this on, but I'm not trying to cover the whole thing, look, even though it's covered in Versamark. Perfect medium. I'm putting patches of copper on. Takes time, but I mean, how many times have we all said, oh, what do you do for a man's card? Well, this is what you do, and it's just not, it's not quick just because it's a man's card. We're still doing lots of techniques, and it's still going to look absolutely fabulous. And this is our Monday Night Live, so I'm not rushing it. So we've got patches of copper on. Oops. So all I've done is I've just dabbed it on rather than covered the whole thing. So this is actually a really nice combination with the grey tones. So I can do these here. I'm just going to move them away from my desk because I've made that mistake before. And although the brown mats are heat resistant, yeah, one for messing, one for clean, so yeah, that's the only reason. Just working my way around. So each time I add a colour on, we're also adding a little bit of texture when the powder melts. I did swear under my breath then. So this is after gold and copper. Yes, it does, Pam, but it melts into it, which is what we're trying to do. So let's just show you what these look like at this stage. So this is how they look at the moment. So we've got some gold showing and some copper showing. Yeah. I'm going back in with the gold now. Going back in with the gold. There's no silver going on this. We're going back in with gold. So all over with the perfect medium. It won't matter. I forgot how juicy these are when they're new. So each time, so the whole point of doing this is, obviously we're adding the colour and we're getting that gorgeous metallic shimmer from the embossing powders. But each time we're doing this, it's adding a different texture, another layer of texture. So these, if I had more time, I would probably spend a lot more time on these. And you would make them look almost realistic, like proper metal. So back in with the gold. Don't make the mistake I nearly did of using the copper again. So I'm not worried about where this is going. We're just adding more gold. And that'll be the last time for these. There's only one more thing to do to these, but not yet. Oops. That poor thing's been dragged into the powder. Right, put this back in. It's nice to get, you know, because we don't use the embossing powders that often, it's fab to get them out again. I don't think they are, Lee. If there's any left though, I would grab them. The black's going to be ink, so the black is going to be ink. So good. Here we go. There's always one you can't catch. I'm just going to clean that embossing powder off my tweezers. So if I bring these in now and show you, I'll show you how they look at the moment. So you can see now we've got the almost hammered finish. And can you see on the copper there how glossy it is? And that's because of the perfect medium that went on top. Can't find the background stamps. Let me just find you another link, Helen. And Heather, I can't find the background stamps. So Heather, here you go. There you go, big backgrounds. So I'm going to pop these to one side for now. I've got one more colour to put on them, and that is the turquoise. But I'm just going to let them settle for a minute. And we're going to come to the grey board. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the grey board, but I don't need the bits. I've got the wrong glasses on, nobody told me. It's no wonder I can't stamp. It's no wonder I can't stamp. Hey, actually I stamped straight, didn't I? So I'm probably better wearing the wrong glasses next week. So I'm poking these bits out the middle, I don't need these. I've ripped that. And that. I'm not throwing these little bits away because I do actually use them sometimes. But not tonight. So with these doodahs, these little laddery things, I think I must be a bit rough tonight. I've ripped that one as well. Oh, on that one. Or is it just because I'm not poking in the right place? Story of my life. Story of my life. Right, there you go. So with these, rather than doing metal, we're going to do these in clear, which I haven't got. I haven't got the clear embossing powder out, so why did I not get that? Crystal clear. So we are using the oxides for this. And going on with the smoothie. So a bit of kitchen roll. Again, I'm recycling from the other day. I'm going to do one in black and one in hickory smoke. I'm going to do the big one in black, I think, in black soot. So remember, you can heat emboss on top of your distress oxides, and that's what we're doing now. So I'm putting plenty of ink on so that it stays damp, even on the porous surface of the grey board. And then we're going to make this glossy with the crystal clear embossing powder. I'll just get another sheet of paper. Sorry, printer. Rita, obviously. Phill with the wrong glasses, you're right. So clear embossing powder on this one, just so that we get a lovely glossy sheen. Oops, I didn't need that much out, but there you go. So put that to one side. I'm only doing one coat. Oops. Apart from that bit that I've just squashed. So put that there for a second. See if I can get this back in. So this will give us whatever colour ink pad we use. It will give us the glossy sheen. And then the other one is going to be hickory smoke. So we change the sponge to hickory smoke. I can't believe it's gone 8 o'clock already. So hickory smoke. You can do this with the Versafine Clairs, everybody, by the way. But I'm trying to use different shades of ink. And then we're going to come back to the vintage ledger. Well, actually, no, I'll do it with the vintage timepieces. Just to be awkward. And we're going to stamp onto one of those strips. So when I give my brother his birthday card in September, I'll direct him to the video so you can see. So happy birthday, Carl. Because I'll make him watch the video on his birthday party. I'll make him watch the video. So happy birthday, little brother. Right, so let's pop that on. Oh, older brother, sorry. I got that wrong just for a second. So now we are using clear embossing powder. Oops, my cables are all twisted. On grey board with a distress oxide. And remember, I'm only doing one coat. So one coat, look, is just giving us a little, oh, you probably can't see, there you go. One coat is just giving us a light hammered texture. So if I wanted that super glossy, I would need to go in again, but I don't, not for this card. You can see it better on the black, I'll show you in a second. This is actually one of the reasons why I love the black soap, because it's not actually a jet black. It's almost like a gunmetal. It's almost like a gunmetal grey. So we've gone from that to that. So we've made an embellishment. Right, I need to crack on because I've just spotted the time. So let me get a move on. We've got a couple of bits of stamping still to do. Kitchen roll, where are you? So we're going to come to these strips now that are in the, again, these are going just straight down the middle of the card. And these are just from the matting and layering bits again. What would you use to make verdigris? I need to do a video on that, don't I? I've done rust, but I need to show you how to do verdigris. We are going to introduce some of the soft aqua to these in a minute, just so we've got a little turquoisey tint. But I want to ink them first. And Jennifer, I'll do a video on that as soon as I get time, because it's dead easy. But I would probably use my paints for that rather than ink pads. You will get a better effect from the chalk paint. Oh, the coffee is cold and it's got a skin on it, look. I'll drink around it. Judy, what are you saying? Drink. Right, so remember we've got the little bit of the vintage timepieces on this one. So we're going to take the we've got a couple of different options for this, but I know what I'm doing, sort of. So for this strip, I'm going to stamp this and emboss it with the copper embossing powder. So that should be long enough for that. Yes, it is. And I'm going to use my... This is really hard. You're going to be asking me why in a minute. I'm going to be using the Nocturne for this rather than the Versamark. Let me just find some of the smaller ones. I think that's a good section to do. So I'm using black because it's easier to see. It's easier to see on dark card than clear. So there's no other reason. But if I did this with Versamark, it would be harder to see on there. And we are going over this with copper. So let me just get this on. Sorry, I've just got to bring it towards me a little bit. See if I can get this little clocks. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I've got the right bit. Let's try that. So remember, this is just texture, so it doesn't matter if I've got bits missing. You're only going to see parts of this. And if I show you now, look, you can actually see the black on there better than... Oh, it's not bad again, look, pretty straight. You can actually see the black on that card better than you would with the Versamark. And that is going to be embossed with copper on its own. Now wait till you see the copper embossing powder on this cool slate cardstock, because it looks gorgeous. Let's just put that over there. Copper embossing powder. Copper embossing powder. This is just metallic. This is just the pure copper. I don't want no glittery on this. We're only going to have the slightest, the very slightest hint of glittery. You'll notice I didn't use my anti-static bag. I'm not worried about that for this. It doesn't matter if we've got little flecks of embossing powder where it's not supposed to be. It doesn't matter. Well, I think it's raining here. And again, I'm just going to heat this from above. I'm not going from underneath. I'm just going to heat it from above because it doesn't matter about the texture. This looks so good. Oh, that's lush. That is lush. Oh, hang on a minute. Fell off. Oh, bloody hell. Hang on a minute. Oh, right. The copper does look gorgeous on the grey. And I'll tell you what else would look gorgeous if we've got... I'm not doing it tonight because I don't want that kind of look. But we're going for... the silver looks gorgeous on the cool grey, cool slate. And the combination... So the combination of silver and gold, like we've done here, look, copper and gold, also looks good on that. So I'm just going to pop that to one side. We don't need that now for a minute. What we do need is a couple of clocks. So I want a couple, I'll just see if I've got a smaller piece. Yeah, that'll do. So I want a couple of the clocks to cut out. Now I know which ones I want. I want this one. And this time I'm going to use the black again. I only need 2 or 3 of these because we've got a lot going on with the gears as well. Oops. And where's the other one I want? Where are you? There it is. And this one. So these are going to be stamped and fussy cut out. So again, we're using the elements from this stamp to make some embellishments. And I'll do the same one in the lighter grey. So there are a lot of bits to do to this card, but the end result will be worth it. There we go. I told you these ink pads were juicy. Leonie would be proud. Just for a second, because you know it's not staying on my finger. Oops, I've just banged the camera, so if you feel like you're tipsy, slow down on the wine. It's really windy. No, I think it's raining here. It looks like it. Clean the stamp. And this time we're going to do copper on the cool slate to match, but we're going to do gold on the. We're going to do gold on the other one. So copper on here to match. It's fun playing with the embossing powders. You know, when you don't use them so often, you know, when you get them back out again, you really want to have a go. And if you are going for the embossing powders, everybody, I forgot to tell you. Remember, we do them in sets of 6 with a little bit off as well, so you can get the full set of. You can get the full set of the super fine ones. And this is gold. So I've gone gold on the lighter grey and copper on the darker grey. The stars I'm leaving white. You're probably looking at them thinking, what's he going to do with them? And the 2 little arrows are just going to be inked. So let's get these done. And now we're going to come back to these because they now need a little bit of turquoise in them. And I'm going to show you a couple of different options. I'm only going to do one, but I'm going to show you a couple of options. Look how good that clock is. Okay, now before, I'm just going to let those cool down. Before I do the next part of that, let me just move this light box because it's bugging me. We've just got to do some splatting on the background. So pop them to one side a minute. We're coming back to the background now. The very first thing that we did, oh we are if I can find it. Here we are. So we're back to the background, which is the very first thing that we did. And I'm just going to do a little bit of gesso around the edge. Hopeless at fussy cutting. It doesn't matter, Helen, because they are mixed in with splats and things anyway, so it wouldn't matter. So we're just going to do a little bit of gesso around the edge. Just a little bit of dry brushing around the edge, just to soften the edge. Remember, it's translucent. And then I'm going to chuck a couple of splats on. So all that does, and I'll bring it in and show you so you can see, it just softens the outer edges. And then I'll just use this brush for my splats just to save a bit of time. It's just tiny details. Tiny details that Carl probably won't even notice, but I will. So I'll tell him. You see, it just softens the edge, look. So I'm putting that in my inky box. And I'm just going to splat. I don't normally use this brush for splatting, but it'll do for this. These are my good brushes, so I shouldn't be doing this. Let's just see if any actually went on the card. It did. I've got plenty on me. It's the wrong brush for splatting, but it'll be fine. There we go, that'll do because I'm getting it everywhere. That can be drying now while we do the rest of the embellishments. Right, so we are getting there. Believe me, we are getting there. There's lots of bits to do, or there were lots of bits to do, but we are getting there. And then we'll get on to the fun part, which is the assembly. Don't let me forget the sentiment, everybody. Somebody remind me in 5 minutes about the sentiment, because that's got to be heat embossed as well. Right, so we're just going to introduce a little bit of turquoise to the gears, and the only reason I'm introducing turquoise to it, not to get a verdigris look or anything like that, the only reason I'm including a bit of turquoise is just to add a difference of colour to the metallics. So I'm just going to quickly whiz round this. Oops, there you go, that's not quite a circle. It's a bit like a rugby ball, that one. Don't you just love a stamp that we've now used this stamp in four different, well, these background stamps in 4 different ways, 5 different ways. And I've not even started to tell you about stamping into air dry clay, because you've probably never done it. But if you've got a little bit of air dry clay, I'm not doing it tonight, don't worry. But if you've got a little bit of air dry clay, just create yourself a little square piece or a little rectangle piece, quite thin. So maybe just 3 or 4 mil thick, and then just take your stamp and push this into it and then leave it to dry, and it will shrink, and you'll end up with a a lovely textured background. Ow. So gold clock. What I'll say to Carl is don't scrutinise the card. So we've now got 3 oval cloaks and they're absolutely beautiful. So all these embellishments have been made using the stamps. Yeah. Right, so let's introduce a little bit now of the turquoise. So I told you I was going to show you a couple of different options. I'm not going to physically do them, but I'm just going to show you. Oops, that was my Apple Pencil, fell off. So I'm using the Soft Aqua Twinkling Embossing Powder, but you can do it with these 2 blues as well. Electric blue. Yep, electric blue and totally turquoise. So if you wanted a smooth finish without any sparkle, these are the 2 that I would recommend. So totally turquoise and electric blue. But I want a little bit of bling on this, just a little bit, just a bit. So here we go. I'm doing this now with the dauber. So when I find the dauber, that's what I'm using. How did it get onto there? Is this a new one? Or is it the same one? I can't remember putting it away. So I'm just going to go and do a little bit with the turquoise. Now, this is the one that I've been using. Yeah. So I'm just going to do little bits with the turquoise. And because it's glittery, we only need a few flecks. We only need a few flecks for it to stand out. And I am doing it on the mole. And then once this is dried, we're going to ink these with black soot. That'll do, that'll do. Nothing like a bit of bling. Remember to shake the twinkling ones up, just because they are a combination of clear and glitter. It'll be lovely when it's done. Even if it is getting everywhere. Oh, this one's done itself. Oh, it's a good job I don't swear. If you've got too much on, remember, you can knock a bit off. But I'm quite happy with what's happening here. And turquoise is always nice with metallic colours, just so you know. We could have done this with the... there's a lovely purple one, I can't remember what it's called, like a lilac-y colour. We could have done it with that as well, that would have been pretty. But turquoise, because it's my brother. And you know, when it gets to the end of September, you're going to have to say, did you send your brother that card? And let's see if I do. The plan is, yes, I'll make him a box as well to match. I bet he does, Jackie. Bless him. Right, so I'm just going to melt this in now. And then, of course, every time I heat this up, it reactivates what's underneath it. I'm just going to do this nearer to me so I can see what's happening. Oh, that's so good. In fact, let me just show you the difference. Let me show you the difference. I'm going to see if I can get really close so you can see the difference. Ignore the glitter on my hands. So this is it melted, look. Can you see we've got that lovely, where it's all melted into each other? And this is obviously one that hasn't been melted yet. It's gorgeous. So lovely. Who said men can't multitask? We're having a fabulous demo and I'm making my brother's birthday card. That is so good. I wish you could see this in real life. I say that every week, don't I? But it's true. So just so you know what I'm doing, I am trying to melt the powder that's already on there. So I'm going over it, look, but I'm keeping it there a bit longer than normal. I don't know whether you can see that. So it's reactivating, or it's reactivating the powders that's on there underneath it. There you go. That noise drives you mad. So the turquoise is actually now sunken into. Ow. The turquoise is sunken into the metallic colours that are underneath. Aren't they beautiful? Right, so let's get this card. Sentiment. You'll notice I've done nothing with the look. I'm leaving it plain. So the sentiment, I've got a couple on here. And I'm hoping these are already out because I can't remember. So I'm hoping they're already out. So I'm stamping onto the doodah, the Cool Slate card. And this time I will use my platform. I'm not going to anti-static it. Let me just clean my hands because I don't want to get glitter in the stamp. I think that's as good as it's going to get. So I'm going to have to, which one shall I have? To the best, for the best, to the most amazing. We'll have to the best. To the best. Brother. He'll be overwhelmed that I've made it. I can tell you that now. Putting the fire on, it's roasting in here. So, to the best. Brother. So let's see if that's straight. It looks it to me. And we are going to do this in copper again, so that it matches pure copper. And I am going to stamp in the black again. Remember, the VersaFine clays we know that they're juicy, but they're also good for stamping your sentiments and heat embossing over the top. So, to the best, brother. Let's just make sure I've got that right. Yeah, that looks good to me. Looks good to me. I'm just going to get the embossing powder on before it dries in. I don't want that piece. Where's the other piece of paper? Here it is. I don't want any turquoise in this. And this time I will go from underneath. I haven't anti-static, remember, because I don't mind a few random flakes. If you don't want that, remember to use your anti-static bag first. Right, we are getting there. We are getting there. I'm just going to put that to one side. I'm going to use that again in a minute, because I'm going to put a big massive 50 on it. The 50 is going to be the size of Big Ben. Oh, I've not used the stars. Oh, I don't think I've got time now. So I'm going from underneath for this, look. Just so we get a lovely smoother finish. How good is that on the cool grey cardstock? Oh. That's from the tweezers. You know where that's gone? I've got to do it again, and I'm just going to get some clean tweezers. I've got another pair under here. Sorry everybody, but it's got to be right. I did say sugar. I was quite good, just so Facebook don't ban me. Make sure I've got the clean ones. It only takes a minute. If I wasn't using the card, I probably wouldn't worry too much, but we are. If I can't make my brother a handmade card for his 50th birthday, I'm in the wrong job. Right, here we go. Let's try again. I'm just going to do this super quick now. And I'll hold it. In fact, I'm going to hold it with my hands. How gorgeous are these stamps? That's me in the morning versus me after coffee. Right, so let's start putting this card together. So, background. Let's see if the gesso's dried. And it has, and it looks fabulous. I'm doing nothing else around the edge. The layers for the card are here. So we're going straight onto the cool grey. Remember, the arrows are just getting inked, so I don't need to worry about that. If I had more time, I would probably do some gold and copper splats on the back of this as well, but you're not actually going to see a lot of this once it's done. Oh, it's so good. So good. Oh, Karen said there is a code. Sorry, everybody. Bear with me. Bear with me. Let me just fix this. I never wrote it down, sister dear. Hang on. Is it 10%? Oh, thank you, Diane. So I'm just building this up. And then we'll start the assembly, which is the part that I know you're wanting to see. You want to see how this all comes together now. Heather, I'm sure they can fix it for you. So for anybody who's bought any before that, I'm sure they can fix it for you in the morning. I'll talk to the girls at the shop. So apologies, everybody. If you've paid full price for your stamps, we will get in touch with you in the morning. There you go. How about that? Right, so 2 layers that are flat. Oops, and then 1 layer that is on foam tape. So as opposed to my normal 2 layers of foam tape, we've only got 1. Yeah, Maureen, don't worry. They'll get in touch with you. I'm not sure how they'll do it, but they'll probably credit you the difference in loyalty points. So you still get the discount. It's my fault. Sorry, everybody. Karen did tell me. I never wrote it down. So don't stress. We'll make sure you don't lose out. Right, here we go. Let's start putting this card together. Here we go. Here we go. So no glue on this, remember, because it's going on the back of the card. Just make sure I've got this the right way up, and I have. I will make him a card blank for this to sit on, and I'll need to do it from a piece of A3. I need to do this from a piece of A3, so pop that to one side. I'm going to bring in my thingy-me-bob. I'm just going to ink around the edge. This is just the hickory smoke. And I'll do the other one with black soot. And I'm going to do the cogs as well. The clocks, I mean. So just a little bit, look, just around the edges. And I also need to do the cogs. So top tips for this. because we're going over a glittery embossing powder. So I would do this. I would probably do this with my finger if I'm honest with you, but I won't tonight. So a sponge, take off loads and loads of the excess, and then just dab over the top. So what will happen is it will dull some of the shine. Oh yeah, that's so good. It will dull some of the shine and make it look like it's got proper metal underneath. You don't have to do this part. I'm doing it so it ties in with the card that I've made. Yeah, that's so good. That's so good, especially on a masculine style card. We've got the metallic element, we've got the sparkly element, but it's been subdued a little bit. Let me show you. So we've still got the metallic, we've still got the sparkle, but it's subdued. How gorgeous is that? Right, clean your mess up, Mr. Martin. Have I missed anything? Yes, I have. Well, I've got the inks out. So I've got one arrow, and I'm not embossing these. These are just staying flat. So one arrow in black soot. I should have done it on kitchen roll. I can hear you all telling me, why have you not used your kitchen roll? And I don't know why I didn't use my kitchen roll. I'm wanting hickory smoke. Even that looks really good. So just colouring the grey board looks really good. Look, can you see the two different shades? Oh, it looks the same on your screen, but it's not, I promise. Oh, there you go. From that to that, just with a little bit of ink. Marvellous. Right, come on, Mr. Martin, let's get this card put together. Thank you, Julie. Karen can't even have a holiday without fixing it. I did message her earlier, but she must have been out. Right, let's start putting this card together. I've just got to mat and layer the sentiment. We will be done for 9 o'clock, everybody, so don't panic. Fix your mat, Phil. We will be done for 9 o'clock. It's just the assembly. So I'm just going to mat this onto a piece of the cool grey. Let me just snip that a little bit. It's not quite straight, but I don't think you'll see it. That's what happens when you cut by hand. So I'm just going to mat this onto a little piece of the cool grey. Because I want some separation between the keyhole. You can see how straight it is. Oh dear. I'm not laughing, it's hysteria. Yeah, it looks lovely with the two shades, look. With the two shades of grey. Right, and now the fun part. Now the fun part. So here we go. Let's start building this up. So I know that this needs to go on first. And I know that if you remember when I told you at the beginning, the part that's got the narrowest edge is what I want there. So this is all glue gel now, so bear with. I'm going to clean my fingers before I get too grotty. What colour card did you use on the background? It's that's white. This is pure, this is ice white. Ice white, cool grey, cool slate. Karen, what time is it there? Nearly 11 o'clock. Right, so let me start putting this together. So this is the first piece that's going on. And it is going to be slightly raised, but the purpose of this is to just be a little bit off the page. It's not meant to be massively raised. So this is going about there. And then the borders are going on next. So this one is just plain. I've done nothing to this, and this separates all the stuff going on behind it. Look, I can't see what anybody's saying to me while I'm doing this, but I will look later, I promise. So this does need to be relatively level. And this is going on first. I'm just going to stand up to do this. So this is actually one of the main parts of this. Which sounds silly because it's just a strip of grey card. But this is now our divider, look. Just squashing it down a little bit more. I know I'm faffing a little bit more than normal, but you know why. Yep, spot on. Spot on. And then this one is going on here. So I need it just down one side. Let's just see which bit I like best. I like that bit at the top. So this is going just off center. Yeah, I know I'm fussy, but I'm just trying to make sure it's all right. Perfect. Now this piece here is going underneath, but I'm leaving that flat. So that's just going on with glue. And this is going here. The next part to go on is the stars. And remember I told you the stars, I've done nothing with the stars. This is just the scrap. This is just the waste from what was... This is just the waste from what we used last week. Yeah. So let's just get this dot on. This is why I tell you not to throw away little scraps because they do get used. I've just realised I haven't done the 50. I'm not going to do it tonight, I'll do it later. So as ever, I'm just a bit of glue on my mat and I'm just dabbing this in. I'm not worried about bits of this sticking up. So it doesn't matter if bits of this are sticking up. Oops. There we go. And this one is going on the other side. Oh. Honestly, it's trying my patience tonight, don't you think? And then this little scabby bit, I'm saving this once I've got the cogs and gears on. I'm saving these until I've got the rest on. So we're going to start now with the gears, the cogs. So the cogs are going on first. Now you know as well as I do what I'm going to do with these. I'm going to chop them in half because we can get 2 lots from them. So you spend all that time and then you can chop them in half and double it up. I'm moving the scissors before I do what we know I'm going to do, which is stab myself with them. So although I'm putting these on with glue gel, I'm not too worried now about what height or anything they are. This one's going straight underneath there. Let's try and get some of the turquoise showing. And now with the rest of these gears, cogs, whatever you want to call them, and the clocks, we're going to start building up. So I know that my keyhole is going there, so I'll put the keyhole on first and then build up around it. Oh, you can guarantee which way that fell, can't you? Glue side down. You can just put money on it. It's like when you drop your toast, you know which side it's going to fall. So I've purposefully left this, if you remember, I've purposefully left this plain because there's enough going on with everything else. So that's now showing us a lovely grey keyhole. So now I can start tucking these behind. So I want one up there, one down there, and that one underneath. Yeah, perfect. I'm just checking. I did have a plan in my head, believe it or not. So I'm just checking that I've got it right. I normally don't worry about where the 12 and everything is, but I know some people do, so don't look if you're one of those people who likes the 12 at the top. I know, forgive me for faffing, but I've got to get it the way I want it. I'm going to save that big one. So next is the little scattery bit of stars. I forgot to stamp some stars, so they'll have to do. Right, we're getting somewhere. I am going to put a 50 on, which is what I saved these two circles for. So I'm going to just need to figure out where I'm going to put the 50. So I know not to put anything above there. So the little black piece is going on next. Ow. And the same as normal, just dab it in the glue. It's going on here. You can tell this is my favourite part because it's the only time I'm quiet. You won't see it finished until the sentiment's on. So until the sentiment's on, it won't look right. Trying not to squash it too much because everything is on glue gel, as you know. And then we've got the sentiment going on next, but I just want to pop one of the cogs there. In fact, I'll do the sentiment next. So I'm just going to shape this a little bit. I'm just going to give it a slight curve look, just a slight curve, because that's going to go over the keyhole. Oh, it's actually a shame to cover the keyhole, but I am. I'm popping the sentiment on first, and then I'm going to put the gears around it. In fact, let's do it a bit lower. Let's try and save some of the keyhole. Right, now we can build up. Build up. I'll just take some of this glue gel off. I hope you've not fallen asleep while I'm doing this. Oops, I've just squashed the gear. Of course I have. course I did. So I know now that I can use this big one. So the numbers are going to go there, so I can tuck this underneath. It's just gone 9 o'clock, so I know I'm not going to put the numbers on tonight. I will do the numbers in the morning, and I'll take... Oh, I can't even take a picture for you in case he sees it. Oh, sugar. So let's just... I'm just balancing out the colour. Do you see what I mean about the gold and the turquoise with the grey tones? It looks fab. Almost done, almost done. These 3 little cogs are going on last. And then I've just got a bit of twine that I'm going to shove on. The glue's dried a bit. Hang on, I'm just get some more glue. I hope you're still here. Yeah, you are. Are you giving him a key to... Am I giving him a key to what? A key to the shop for his birthday? Am I heck? I'll give him a key to the shop and then tell him he's got to pay for it all at the end. You know, like I do. Hang on, let me just see where I want this. Key to the shop. That's brilliant. I'm just going to make that smaller. So we've used just while I'm doing the boring bits. So we've used quite a lot of products on tonight, on tonight's card. Let me just see where I want this. I'm tormenting myself. Hang on a minute. Yeah, so we've used quite a few different products on this card tonight, and that was the whole point. But the main, you can see looking at this, that although, yes, the gears and that are fabulous, the main focus, which is as it should be for this video that we are calling a focus on, the main focus is the actual background stamps. So the first thing I notice is that copper strip down the middle, and that is all done from the scraps of cardstock and the vintage timepieces stamp, and it looks fabulous. I feel like I need another gear. Not for me personally, for the card. Just in case you're wondering. So we've not quite finished yet. Apart from the numbers, which you know the numbers are going to go there, a 5 and a O, which is why I'm not putting anything else up there. Not just yet anyway. I don't want to try and get that twine on. Yeah, that's better. then I think I need one there. I need one there. Or do I want it there? Oh, Phill, decisions. It's going there. Right, almost done, almost done. I'm going to keep these there just so you can imagine that says a 5 and a O. And I actually don't know whether it needs the twine. I'm just going to use this. I actually don't know whether it needs the twine, but I was going to do. I was going to do just a doodah. Do you think it needs the twine? I'm asking you now for your opinion. Do you think it needs the twine on it? I don't normally ask, but I'm asking you, twine or not? Which numbers are you using? I'm using the numerics, sentiment discs numerics, and I'm going to do a separate 5 and a O. So you can use the ones that are already done, but I'm going to use the 5 and a O. Do you want the? I've not finished yet, so don't run away. We've got one more thing to do. Oh, look at the time. You can tell I've taken my time with this. No twine, right? That's enough for me. But we've got one thing to go on. One more thing to go on. Bear with me a second. Oh, oops. And oops was better than the actual word in my head. We're just going to have a couple of gold pearls. And if you don't like them, tough. It's the law. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Let's have one down here. 3, 4, and I'll have it here, 5. Right, so here we go. Let's get the just plain gold, and I was going to use silver, but we've got gold on the card, so it makes sense to have gold pearls, and they look a little bit like rivets, so it looks good. Did I have glue up the top? I can't remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. I can't even show you once I've done the numbers because you might see it. So I better not. I need one up there. And I think I'll stop there. Nope, sorry everybody. I need one more. Right, so I'm going to stop there. I'm going to remind you, it needed one at the top, look. I'm going to remind you that I should have given you a code for the 10% off the big background stamps. So I apologise for that, it's my fault. And I should pay more attention to my sister when she's giving me instructions. And I should write them down. So if you have bought the big background stamps tonight and you've paid full price, don't worry. The girls at the shop will get in touch with you. They'll probably credit your account with the equivalent of the difference in loyalty points, so you can spend them however you want. And I'm sure they'll be cursing me in the morning. Right, so let's do a little close-up so you can see this done properly. There was a lot of techniques in this card, but the main bulk of this is from the actual stamps. So let's do a proper close-up so you can inspect at your pleasure. So the copper, the gold and the turquoise together are absolutely beautiful. And it just detracts from it just being a grey card. And that little hint of the sparkle look from the soft aqua twinkling embossing powder is just enough. So I'm putting no glitter around the edge. There may be a couple more cogs on this when you do see it next. Anyway, so hopefully that's given you some ideas and a little bit of inspiration of how to use the big background stamps in a couple of different ways at least. So we've done the strip, we've done the embellishments in the background, we've die cut the embellishments, and we've also stamped and created some dimensional cloaks. So let's do a giveaway of a couple of these stamps so I can go and get my dinner because I'm starving now. Yeah, I think that looks quite good. I know he'll like it because it's different to what you can buy anywhere else, I can tell you that much. So let's do a couple of giveaways. I'm not going to go spend ages on this because we've all been here longer than we should have been. Surprise, surprise. So over to YouTube. Let's do you first. Who says men's cards have to have a footballer on or golf? I won't thank you for it, but I would this. So as ever, if your name is chosen as the winner, let's see if I can get this a bit closer for you to see it properly. If your name is chosen as the winner, just send me an inbox message, a private message on the Sentimentally Yours Facebook page with your name and address and a reminder that you've won one of the big background stamps. I don't know which one it will be. It will just be random, whatever the girls pick off the shelf. So good luck, everybody. Here we go. So YouTube first. And my mouse has landed on Nina Grimshaw. So Nina, congratulations, you've won one of the big background stamps. You know the drill. Name and address, private message, Sentimentally Yours Facebook page, and we will get your new stamp whizzing off to you. So thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed this on YouTube. Remember, if you are not in our group yet, you are missing out. So on Thursday night is when we do our happy hour deal and demo. Well, that's actually a really good shot, isn't it? Close up like that. So make sure you join our Facebook group. It's just Crafting with Phill Martin and Sentimentally Yours on Facebook. So over to Facebook. Good luck, everybody. Thank you, everybody on the tube. If you are not on Facebook, I will see you next Monday. Do not miss next Monday at 7 p.m. There's no demo next Monday. It's just me talking to you. I will have a shave. I will do my hair. And I will put a waistcoat on for Hope. And I'm going to bring you up to date with a few things that are changing in the coming weeks. So thanks, everybody on YouTube. Right, Facebook, here we go. Good luck, everybody. I want to really take a photo so you can see it all, but I can't. So here we go. Good luck, everybody. And my mouse has stopped on Linda Jenkins. So congratulations, Linda. You know the drill. Name and address on the Sentimentally Yours Facebook page. Please, everybody, make sure you've subscribed to my YouTube channel. I'm going to keep nagging you till you've all done it. And liked and followed the Sentimentally Yours Facebook page. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and it's given you a couple of different ideas, at least a couple of different techniques. And remember to send me your suggestions for the big backgrounds, private message on the Sentimentally Yours Facebook page. And I'm now going to go and eat because it is 9:15 at night. So thanks everybody. I'll see you on Thursday in the group. Bye.